everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom, and I'm with Carrie Ankrum. Carrie, this is her first time riding shotgun on the Bullhucker podcast. What's up, Carrie?
What's up?
I asked Carrie to come along today because she's become one of my new podcast pimps. She finds me all kinds of people to do these podcasts. I get these weird texts out of the blue that says, you know who'd be great on the podcast? And I'm like, who? She doesn't tell me. She makes me work for it. Who? She's like, I found this person. And so far, the next one he's coming on next week to do it. So
sweet. Yeah,
I'm excited for it. So, Carrie, what's going on?
Not much. Just hanging out with the cool kids.
You hang out with the cool kids. You might recognize Carrie from episode 60. We did it at her shop. She's the owner of the Brush Barber, right?
City Barbershop.
City Barbershop. I'm going to cut that out right there so I don't look like an asshole. So City Barbershop. And we actually did a few in your barbershop. It was kind of cool in there. You have a bunch of lizards in there. You have all kinds of cool stuff there.
A lizard and a tarantula.
Yeah. And they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Totally hanging out. So we have a guest today.
We do.
Susan, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful experience.
Susan is actually an employee of the Brush, City of Brush. And this is a little rusty right now because we haven't done this in a week or so, and I just got back from a trip from the CML conference. So
we're on the same page.
We're
I'm a little rusty. I'm not. So we're good. We're even.
We are on the same page. I didn't talk you into one of Dencia's palomas. These are hers, by the way. We're raiding her stash. So.
Oh, we're raiding.
Yeah,
I did not know we were raiding.
If a little brunette comes at you swinging, but just start swinging back. She.
Oh, if I duck, they fall over.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Susan Turner, what do you do for the City of Brush?
I'm a permit tech.
Okay.
And the fancy way of saying I help you when you need a permit for something.
Ah, so you're the one I got to send them to. I always send them to Tyler. I just thought that's who I did it. So.
If they ask for Tyler, I go, "What do you need?" Is usually what I ask first.
Yeah.
And then it's who in the office because there's many people that do a variety of things.
Right. So how'd you get into that?
You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. My long story short, I moved out here. Needed to do a change of pace, and I was looking for a job. I was going to Morgan County Community College to be a multimedia design, and my son was like, "Mom, just start applying for anything. If you think you've got the credentials, go for it."
Yeah.
So I read down the list. I can do that. Here we go. This is funny. I sent it off as a joke to myself.
Yeah.
You got it.
And I got it. I go, son, guess what? I got a call back. And he was listing off all the other jobs. I'm like, no, the one in Brush. Where was Brush again?
That's not funny. Brush is the mecca of all Colorado. Thank you very much. I've been fighting with other councilmen from other towns and who has the best city.
It is Brush.
It is Brush.
Even HGTV, they said they liked Brush better than Morgan.
They did, but they picked Morgan because it was a pity thing. A bigger shithole. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
The big boys,
Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah.
They miss out on the cool kids. They didn't get them to the cool kids table. They went to the big kids table.
Right. This is all envy, by the way. Let's not BS each other. That was kind of cool though. Before we get started though, I do want to say we are at the Bullhucker studio here in the bowels of the Brush Emporium. If you haven't been to the Brush Emporium, please come check them out. Very cool, 210 Clayton Street here in Brush, Colorado. It's actually a great little shop. They have a pizzeria. They have a ice cream shop. They do wings now. And they also, while you're waiting for your stuff, they have a lot of cool shopping you can do from local vendors. Very cool.
Yes.
It's very cool for the Chamber of Commerce, which Carrie was the president of for a year. Right? And it's just cool. It's a cool thing for downtown Brush to bring people back to downtown Brush. And if you haven't had the pizza, you should come check it out because it is awesome.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Freddie, the hot dog guy, was just in here, and the way he's got this Brooklyn accent, or from the Bronx, and he was like, that cheese hits different. I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but he was pretty excited to tell me that the cheese hit different. So at any rate, we are here at the Bullhucker Studios, so please make sure if you support the podcast, you come support the Brush Emporium. They've been very good about letting us have this little space down here. It's kind of a cool little space, yeah, Susan?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like it.
Carrie, this is your first time down here?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is.
I got you to finally sign the wall. Yeah, everybody picked they're kind of filling in the one wall, and Carrie said, fuck it, I'm going to start the other wall. You know what I mean? She doesn't care. That's
right.
That's Carrie Ankrum for you. So, Susan, where did you live before you came to Brush?
Before I came to Brush, Westminster.
Westminster. Is it a culture shock?
You think? and believe it or not, I actually live in Wiggins, which is even smaller than Brush. You want to talk about culture shock?
Not much.
We didn't get a stoplight.
In Wiggins,
There's no stoplights.
it's coming.
There really
They're
isn't.
coming, but there isn't. But our criteria was really simple: a gas station and a grocery store and a hardware store.
Yeah,
They have all three, but no stoplight.
it's coming.
I didn't even notice that.
We have 2 stoplights, and one's kind of pointless.
Yeah, the one on Colorado.
Yeah.
At least it's there.
At least it's there.
But it turns on when you do not expect this. If you have something loaded in the back of your truck, that light will flip and make you stop suddenly. That has never happened to me, though.
I think if you're not speeding, you're safe, Susan. Listen, Susan.
Yeah,
if
I figured.
if you're hauling ass down the road, it
Yeah,
might
it's
take
good.
you by surprise.
I figured it would be
if,
funny.
If you see tracers going by as you're driving, you might be going a little
Might go a
quick.
little too fast.
Yeah, just a little too fast. So
I couldn't resist the urge to say, it's a sudden stop, don't you know? 30 miles to 0.
yeah, it's also nice because it gives someone a place where people can actually cross the street.
Yes.
So it's good for the old people and the children, I guess.
I like
So,
how you said the old. What if it's a nice young person that decides to get some exercise instead of an old man?
they probably be walking that part of town.
Probably not.
You're not playing Frogger.
We might have to explain Frogger first.
Am I that old?
You and me both. Like I said that to somebody and they were like, "What?"
Right.
What's Frogger?
Right.
It's from the Atari.
I just bought some clothing to go to the CML concert from the JCPenney because they have the big and tall, or the fat guy store is what it is. And I guess I got to start dyeing this because the girl, honest to God, said, I gave you your discount. And I go,
What?
is that a cool guy discount? We all know what discount she's talking about.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
we do.
So I was a little disgusted at the fact she gave me a senior discount, but not disgusted enough to turn away the senior discount.
Exactly.
So I was like, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, As I go outside, I get a little tear in my eye. I was like, you're old, kind of sad as shit. So, but yeah, that finally happened to me.
You don't look that old.
You don't look that old.
You two don't look that old. I look old as shit with this damn gray hair. It's getting worse, so I'm going to have to belly up and try and...
I think it's the same opinion of the people that have to check your ID now, see if you're old enough to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
Do you realize it's 2000?
Yeah, you're right.
Dang.
Are you old enough to sell cigarettes? You need to ask them,
Yeah.
That's true.
There's a few of them that you kind of go, okay. First time I was ever carded for cigarettes was when I moved to Colorado.
Really?
Rest of my life in Texas, never, not once.
That's because in Texas they don't give a shit.
They don't.
No, they really
They
don't.
don't care, man. They'll sell you a gun at 13. They don't care.
No, make it 14.
They mean is it 14 now? Okay.
It's joking.
Cigarettes, there you go, pussy.
You're gonna be all right. So what do you mean? Can't you smoke? You got to be able to do both, right?
Oh, I mean, how am I supposed to drink my beer without a cigarette there, Tex?
You got at least 2 hands, right?
They got at least 2 hands. That's amazing. So, well, if you're new to the Bullhucker podcast, what we do here on the Bullhucker podcast is we bring on a guest. Today's Susan. She's going to tell 3 stories about her life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either borrowed, made up, or partly made up, partly true. Now, Susan, without going into any detail, what is your story, the fake story? Is it a borrowed story? Is it halfway made up, half true, or all the way made up?
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So at the end of the podcast, Carrie and I are going to try and guess which one of these is actually the mixture story and not a true story. So, Susan, are you ready to tell some stories?
Of course I am.
Oh, hell yeah. Carrie, are you ready to hear some stories?
I am.
You want to read them off for me? Can you read those?
Tell me if you
Leaving
can read my chicken scratch. It's fair if you can't.
You ever seen mine? It's horrible.
leaving the ropes.
Learning the ropes. See?
Learning.
I have horrible writing.
No horsing around and touching the clouds.
Carrie, since this is your first time riding shotgun, why don't you pick one out for us?
Let's go with no horsing around.
No horsing
horsing
around.
Well, it's part of one of my first few jobs when I got out of high school. I ended up getting a job as a camp counselor for a Girl Scout camp. Never was a Girl Scout in my life. I was good at backpacking and stuff like that, so I was the one who took the kids out, trained them how to backpack, all that good stuff. Well, they have horses. I'd always wanted to learn how to ride. I was willing to muck out stalls in exchange to learn how to ride horse.
I'm going to assume muck out stalls means clean up the horse crap.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, "Nah, you're kidding. You wouldn't do that." Sure, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
And then it would be whoever I get their time, whatever, how many hours, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd muck out stalls would be how much time I got with horses. So I got to be pretty decent. So much so, I was an arrogant SOB. We at the end of the day, I was mucking out stalls and we're just relaxing for a bit, and they turned the horses out. And they were telling me the story about, like, if you had a broken halter, you could get on the back, go bareback. Me, being my youthful, intelligent self, goes, really? I'm like, who's hanging out this way? This horse named JD. Big, tall horse, 15 hands, high withers. I'm no taller, obviously, than I am now, but I was lighter. I was about 100 pounds lighter than I am now.
I don't know a lot about horses. What's 15 hands mean?
The height.
Oh, okay. All right.
A very tall
Look
horse.
at you. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what the hell is that.
My
Okay.
daughter used to show horses.
Okay.
so-
All right. Okay.
So he was white, he was pretty. So I'm like, okay, I think I can get the halter, because it was a broken halter, you loop it through, and I could throw it over his neck. I'm like, I can do that. I'm so confident with myself. And then I just let, there's a big boulder over there. I can walk into the boulder so I can get my punky butt up on the horse. If this wasn't good enough, have you ever had the person that follows you that thinks, you know what, they're doing something cool, I'm going to go follow that person. Comes following behind me. Can I come too? If I get on, I'll get you up somehow. I ain't for sure how we're going to get that one out, but we'll figure it out. Let me get up first.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, get up to the boulder so I can get climbed on, grab hold of his mane. I'm mangling myself, trying to get my punky butt up there. I get up there, I'm like, score! I'm on the horse. They're like, tie off the halter, stupid! So here I am, tying how to make sure I can have something that resembles reins. They show me how to loop it through and give it a makeshift wannabe. It's a really weird way to do it. But no, obviously nothing in their mouth, so no bit. So no saddle, no bit.
What does the
And-
bit do, by the way?
It helps the horse know which direction you want to turn.
Okay,
It's
all
for a car, it'd be like no power steering
Oh.
and no steering wheel.
It's a good analogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
You're hoping that this horse likes you, that he or she is your friend.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall off bareback. I had never ridden bareback before. Just sounded like a great thing that came across my brain. So get up on the horse, and I'm like, okay, I think I got long enough arms. So I'm hugging the horse's neck like this, going, all right, let me see if I can get you. Climb over my shoulders, climb over my back.
Oh my goodness.
And we both get on the back of the horse. And I'm happy. I'm like, okay, we're going. He's got to walk. I get him up to a semi. He's got a real sloppy trot, so we're kind of flopping around like this. Next thing I hear is, no horsing around from the riding director. I was like, am I busted? Did I get caught? And I'm like, we got to get down. We're in trouble. I don't think she said we could go riding. It's like, we get down and she goes, no, that's not what I meant at all. You scared the tar out of me. Do you know how long it took me to get that horse over there and to get her up on the horse? We had 5 minutes. It was probably more like 10, but it felt like 5.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I was just fucking with you.
So you could have stayed and rode longer.
I could have stayed and rode longer. Did not realize she was just giving me a hard time.
I mean, that's kind of a shitty thing to do. Being it took you all that effort to get on the damn horse to begin with, you know. You had that 15 hand slap bit that thing or whatever it was, you know. So I grew up in town, guys. I don't have to tell you. I don't dick about horses. So
It's sarcasm.
Yeah.
I just, me being the sarcastic soul that I am, I missed her sarcasm.
Right.
I legitimately thought she was ticked off. And I didn't want to break the deal I had. I was getting free riding lessons other than, clean some stalls. I didn't want to break that deal.
You were doing the hard work, though.
Yeah, the queen mucker effort, right? That's,
Hey,
I mean, it
look
works
at
out right.
If you would have known how much buckage even back then that cost to have somebody train you how to ride a horse, it was $100 just for them to look at you.
Oh, dang.
What's buckage?
Money,
Okay.
rubbish.
Okay. Well, I thought that was a fancy
You're learning all
word.
the things.
I
No.
am.
I just talk funny.
I'm going to actually use these words out in public, and I hope they're right because I don't look like an idiot, and I've done it before, you know?
Oh, if you say buckage, probably people will look at you funny because I do talk funny.
Yeah. What's that yeet? That when the kids all say
Yeet,
yeet.
yeet.
Yeah,
What is yeet?
Thank you. I can't
What
tell
is
you.
yeet?
I don't know, but I use it in every kind of. What is yeet?
I don't know. I just say it.
So yeah, the people have tried to explain this thing to me. It's a popular saying. It might not be popular anymore. It might have already been dead, but
You might want to be careful because you know what oof means, right?
oof,
No, what does oof mean?
dead.
Yes.
Like
Huh,
is that the new
Mikhail.
slang?
That's Mikhail's favorite word.
Oof.
Oof.
I forget the game it came from. I found that out from one of my nieces. I go, what does that mean? Oh, you died in the game.
Oh,
Oof.
oof.
Is it an acronym or what is it? Do you know?
OOF. What it stands for, I don't know. I just found out it meant you croaked in a game. I played video games, but I'm like, I didn't play this particular game, and apparently it was.
I'll tell you what, oof isn't yeet. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah,
Oof is not yeet.
yeet.
No.
I don't know what yeet is either.
Yeet is good.
It is good,
Yeet is
right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Matt Gordon brought it to a city council meeting one day, and we're all, I mean, at least in our 30s, 40s. And when he said, everybody's kind of stared and said, is that good? I don't know what. Because the beat diggers, he wanted to say Mary Yeetmas or whatever, and or better Mary Yeet Digger or something, and had like little like standouts, and he had this plan for downtown Brush, and when he said Yeet, he was all excited to say Yeet, and we're like, I don't know what that is. Like, what is Yeet good, Matt? And he goes, oh. That's right. We're from the 80s and 90s, you dick. So
70s.
70s.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up in the 80s, 90s.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You and I are the same age, I believe.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
I was born in 75. You don't have to say if your age.
Oh, no, you're older.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're younger.
Oh.
Carrie Ankham's the baby of the group.
Yep.
Okay. But you were born in the 70s.
Yes.
All right. It was a great, well, I was probably for 5 years of them, so if I can remember.
Well, you got enough to know what the 80s were different with.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't because my mom was a disco queen, so, like.
I'm sorry.
Oh, dude. It's like child abuse. I wish she'd have beat me instead. Because now whenever the Village people come on or ABBA or any of that shit, I'll dance to it, man. I like it, you know.
Now you know you're in trouble. For me, it was good old-fashioned country western before any rock touched it.
Like the Highwaymen, that kind of shit. Further back than the Highwaymen?
Black and dude, I can't remember.
Johnny Cash?
Before Cash. Who's the guys before Cash? My dad would have been able to tell me he's gonna kick me in the butt
Hank
from heaven.
Williams Sr.?
Senior.
Okay.
I listened to Hank Williams Sr.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like Johnny Cash because he's Johnny Cash. You know, he's timeless. So, yeah. Anyway. So
Moving along.
What do you think about that story, Carrie?
It didn't have the ending I expected. I expected to hear about you falling off or getting kicked in the head or something.
or your friend in a wheelchair you go visit all the time because he fell off of 15 hands horses or some shit.
You know, honestly, that's how I expected that to happen.
Yeah.
But considering we were miles from anywhere, that would have been.
Well, it's probably why you
endeavor.
didn't catch up on or pick up on her sarcasm because you were probably so nervous in the back of your head that you just automatically assumed that she was being serious.
Probably.
What's the average horse height?
Well, that I don't know
hands-wise?
off the top of my
I
head.
have no idea.
I mean, if you had to guess.
I used to know. I want to say I think 10. Don't quote
So
me.
15's
It's a massive horse.
Yes.
okay. That's
He was a big
horse.
boy.
Like when your daughter showed him, what was the average?
I want to say JR, her horse, was 14 hands.
So he's a big horse too.
Yeah, and she's just a little girl. She's only like 5'2".
Was it Ireland?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she's little. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, I'm the size of the horse. I won't get on the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I won't get on a horse either. There's no way.
but
I
I'm the
would.
size of it. I could wrestle the damn thing if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like if the horse saw me, he's like, oh shit. All right. I like the story too. I got to learn some of that story, so that was good. So we'll see. That's what. Kudos on that because now it's hard for me to tell whether that's a lie or not. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty much you're telling me the story and defining it as you go. So I have to go for it. So, Susan, whenever I pick a story, there's always one that always pops out to me, and I always save that one for last. So let's do Touching the Clouds.
Oh, you want to do Touching the Clouds?
Yeah.
Okay. In my youth, I like to try things, do things. I loved playing since I was a kid. My oldest brother, well, not my oldest, third brother? God, I'm horrible with remembering his age. But he bought me, when he came back from, he was military in the Army. He came back on leave, and he brought a model P-40 plane. He had put it together himself on his brakes, and he gave it to me. I thought it was awesome. We went and I found a war. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a War Eagles Air Museum or any of the ones that do the old-fashioned airplanes from like World War I, World War II, P-51 Mustangs.
Where's one at? Like around here?
There's
there
one
one
in the
low?
metro. I'm trying to remember if it's on the south. There's one in the north.
The Lowry Airspace
The
Center.
Lowry Airspace Museum would be very close, but these have a lot. We were discussing how old we were. I'm old enough that they used to take them up, and they would take people up. So if you were willing to volunteer, just like the other, if you were willing to volunteer, they would teach you how to fly.
Oh, shit.
So there was only one dude. They happened to have a P-40. I went to go to this museum because it had a museum. So when it was old aircraft, so
Right.
I was always doing stuff with my dad being military. We would go to the Armed Forces Day. I have rappelled out of an airplane, a helicopter down to the ground. I would go and be able to sit in all kinds of cockpits, and I thought it was cool. So I was like, it's a P-40. Never seen one on the ground, and all 100% intact. It was outstanding.
Nice.
And I was like, and they were telling me about these volunteer programs, you know, because I was young. They're like, well, we're trying to get more volunteers, and if you're willing to volunteer, we'll teach you how to fly, because they could just see me drooling probably, obviously.
Right.
And I'm like, well, does anybody know how to fly that P-40? Long pause. The old guy. You think you're old? This dude was like 75, 80 years old.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm somewhat old, but I mean, I'm not comparing myself to a...
He was like, he was a
octogenarian, you know?
serious old timer, and he was like, "You want to learn how to fly what?" I go, "I'd like to see two, but I'd like to learn how to fly one." And he goes, "You better pick the right one that you want to learn." P-40. Yeah. Now, first trick is, can you get up in it? He's like, I'm not going to teach you nothing if you can't get in here. Have either of you ever tried to get into an airplane, especially the old ones?
No, just
No.
one that I've got at an airport. That's pretty much it.
I was very curious. Well, I was like, well, do I have to figure it out myself, or are you going to tell me anything? He goes, well, it depends if you start breaking stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like, all right, try. I go, there looks like a tab there. Is that a tab? Well, kind of. No, it's there. Okay. Pops down the two little steps for me to get in. Canopy's already back. Pop into the airplane, and I'm like, if you've ever watched movies like Red Tails and all these different, I love to watch. I'm the weirdo that loves to watch. I love to watch them. I've been to air shows. Absolutely loved aircraft. Got inside and go, there's a lot of levers. There's a lot more levers and pedals than you'd expect there to be.
Well, it's an airplane, man.
No, I mean like levers and flaps and two sets of pedals on the floor.
Susan, to give me perspective, how many hands tall is this airplane?
Considering my midget size, we'll say 14.
Oh, okay, wow.
An average horse size.
Yeah.
Because you look at it, when you look at it from a distance, it looks big, and you'd feel shorter,
Right.
in my opinion. Because I was told I couldn't fly an airplane because I'm too short. I actually would have wanted that as an MOS because I'm too short.
Really?
In the Army, wanted people to be at least 6 foot to fly, and you had to have perfect 20/20 vision in order. And I have lazy eye in this eye, so I couldn't fly a helicopter either.
Right.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I have lazy eye. So this guy was willing to teach me on a volunteer. You think I'm not going to take that up?
Of course.
And so he started. So it was lots of ground school teaching me how to what all these levers did. And okay, I think I get the hang of it. We get up, we're going. The most awesome feeling is touching the clouds, and just you feel like you're gliding on the air.
Yeah.
The hardest part is landing properly. A few skips, but
Really?
I did get it landed. It was all not bad.
Nice.
It did take a few weeks for me to learn what all the levers were, obviously.
Right.
Days, but I'm like, so I'm volunteering, cleaning. Not too many toilets, so
Yeah.
it wasn't as much mucking, just keeping the place
Yeah.
clean, answering people's questions.
Human mucking, it's got to be the worst.
I think the horses mucking would be worse.
Really?
I would rather muck out a stall than clean a toilet.
Oh.
If you give me the option, I'll take a horse
Really?
stall, personally, because at least they put it all in one area. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
There's no
okay.
There's no splatter effect on a horse.
This is true. This is true.
So you landed it okay.
Yes.
Everything was okay. You know what this story reminds me of? That damn submarine that's been all over the news.
Oh my goodness.
We're like, well, if you want to try, it's okay. Come on in. It's cool. Fly it,
But
They just
did
didn't have waivers back then.
Yeah.
No, there was no waivers.
You die, you die.
Yeah.
But you realize I have an old man. I would have killed a pilot that survived World War I and II.
Oh,
I would have killed somebody who survived the war. You know how horrible that would be?
Yeah.
No.
Pretty shitty.
I was like, literally, you going, dude, you're a horrible person. This dude survives the war, can't survive you.
How old were you about this?
About 18. I
18
just
years
turned
old?
18.
Oh, wow.
so did you end up getting a pilot's license?
You know, I didn't have the money. I still to this day have not had the money, but that's one of the reasons I want to get a drone. so I can officially say I have a pilot's license. Because you actually get a pilot's license from the FAA to fly a drone.
Do you?
Nice.
It's got to be a certain size as a drone, though. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
And do you have to go to school for that? Because I know they
You
have
don't
classes at
have
MCC, but
Not
You don't
yet.
have to. Yes,
Not
they do.
yet.
It started in June.
Oh, okay. Is it
I didn't have the money.
to fly a drone?
No, to take the class.
Oh, for the
I just
airplane.
finished. I just finished the classes.
Oh, you're talking about drones, yes.
She's
Yeah.
talking about drones.
The
drone.
So you're talking about the planes? No,
I'm
I
talking
did.
about drones.
Yeah, you have to have money to pass to take the classes. And
Okay.
there's I want to say it's a $200 fee. Don't quote me, but it's like $100 or $200 for the FAA test.
For the drones.
No, for the drone test.
Okay. We're on the same page here. We are on the same page. I didn't
you
know.
sure?
Yeah. To fly a drone, you have to.
Have a pilot's license.
I didn't know that.
You're supposed to.
Well,
yeah.
Is it like a jaywalking law, though? Like it's technically a law, but.
It depends on who catches you and where you fly it.
Yeah.
If you fly where you're really, it's a no-fly area, yeah, you probably get somebody to yell at you, but other than that.
Other to shoot it out of the sky, you know.
See, but that means you have wings. I'd have
Yeah.
a good reason to have the wings I always wanted.
Right, right,
Too many Top Gun movies, sorry.
right. I was watching a documentary about the Star Wars being filmed in New Zealand and how people were flying drones, trying to get pictures of the set and everything. And Disney actually has, it's like attack drones.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
do.
Yeah, there's signs there where it says if your drone is on our land, we'll shoot it out of the sky.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. So yeah, there's probably a
They
little
take that drone stuff really
a little
seriously.
Mickey Mouse paint on the side of it, gunning your shit down. You know what I mean?
There are no droids here. Move along.
These are not the drones you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. But I'd imagine it's gonna get more and more strict as they get more and more advanced, because some of those drones are badass now, man.
Yeah.
So
They have drone races if you don't know.
oh yeah.
They're pretty awesome to watch
Yeah.
what they can do with them.
Especially having drone fights, but it'd probably get pretty expensive, I'd imagine, after a while.
Yeah.
Well, robot fighting is expensive, so I don't even want to know what drone fighting would cost.
Right.
I think it would be cool though.
Oh yeah, it'd be badass to watch. But I mean, well, people have the money for it though, right?
A few $1,000
They
here,
have to
a few
if they do
$1,000
it.
there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they race cars. Those get banged to shit all the time, you know. But this one's falling out of the sky. But no, I think it'd be kind of cool. It'd be pretty badass to watch.
So that's what you need to do after your podcast. You need me to make your own little track. Get about 500 acres, call it good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You got that money in your back pocket, right?
Fucking drone fights, yeah, you betcha. For every year, the city of Brush, they're all over town. They have like the little giving trees, right, where they have kids, and they put little what they want up there.
Yeah.
I keep one at the shop.
Yep. Oh, do you? I'll come down and get one for you next year.
Thank you.
But I went down to the city of Brush and told her around to give me a boy and a girl. You know what I mean? And so she goes, "Well, do you want just two brothers? Is that cool?" I go, that's fine. One wanted a drone, and one just wanted one suitable for an 11-year-old boy, whatever. So I buy a pretty cheap drone, and then I bought an RC car, like one of those like all terrain.
Oh, cool.
And as I'm watching the videos on them and shit, I almost kept that drone for myself. I'm sorry, little Billy, but this thing's too cool to give away. I'll try to order one and get here on time, but it was cool as shit. It was a little guy. It was like $50.
It's funny if you look at the smaller they get, that's not the cheaper they get.
Yeah.
You would think the smaller the drone is, the cheaper it is, but
Yeah.
that's not true. at all.
But some of the bigger ones are badass, you know. I mean, like
Yes.
some of the bigger ones are ones they do at like weddings now, like all the videographers at
Have you
weddings.
seen the multi cameras that they have on them?
Yeah, yeah,
They're pretty neat.
Yeah, they do. You can get them at Walmart.
yeah.
Walmart has a couple badass ones.
Right. Then they're like $600-700, right?
No, I
They're-
think the one's only like $2 something.
There's one
Really?
that's 200
Yeah.
something. That's the one I was looking at. As long as it qualifies, let me pass my test.
Really?
I was like, it's on my to-do list.
Right.
Well, maybe you can get the drone and use it for the city for your job, and then you could go for the chamber reimbursement program.
There you go.
I like that. Now that's a philosophy.
That's thinking outside the box.
See?
That's the best way to think. If you think inside the box, you know where you always stay?
Crooked, man. I think that's crooked what you just said. I don't know. That's some inside baseball knowledge right there. That's what Carrie Ankrum, you know. I like to see everything Carrie's written off in the past now. You know what I mean? That she's bought for herself. Or Kurt's like, it'd be cool if we own. She's like, well, shit, I think the barber
did
shop
this
could
and
use
this
it.
and this and that, would we be good?
yeah. The barber shop could use a potato gun. Absolutely. Why wouldn't? I mean, we'll find
Why
use for
not?
it, you know.
That's merch right there.
That's March.
Yeah.
Load some shirts. Boom, 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 boom. There. Now you've just marketed your shop with some free shirts and a coupon in tucked in with your shirt. Oh, $5 off your next haircut.
I'm going to start hanging out with Sue more often.
There you go. those t-shirt cans can kill you. Killed what's her name? Flanders' wife.
I don't know who that is.
Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. That's how his wife died.
Nuh-uh.
I was like, I don't think I saw that episode.
That's where she, they're like in NASCAR or whatever, and the guy's pumping up those shirts, and it hits her, and she falls off the back, and that's how Ned Flanders' wife dies. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's horrible. Well, it's because I'm laughing because she's a cartoon, but that's why I'm laughing. But
You made it sound like it was a real person that died. I was like, I'm sitting here going, I don't know of any real person dying of a potato
I
gun.
can't remember her name though. Ned Flanders' wife. So
I thought about Iron Man. I was like, you're not making an Iron Man reference? 'Cause
No.
when he gives him the potato gun 2.0.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had a potato gun? Have you ever fired one?
No.
They are.
Have I fired a lot of
I have.
Yeah. My little brothers had one, and so it was PVC pipe, and then screw the end, and take hairspray, and they would spray the hairspray in there, and then.
And make sure you get Aquanet. If you're going to spray hairspray, get Aquanet.
Oh, we don't want to kill anybody, but because that shit's powerful. I
It is.
was alive in the '80s, as we talked about.
Exactly.
And ladies like this, and they.
With the band.
Oh man.
Yep.
I don't know how date rape ever happened in the '80s when you had a knife on your head like a fucking rhino, bud. You know what I mean? Like they come at you, but it start swinging your head, But they had like a little igniter on it, boom, and that thing would fire, and you could hear it for. I don't know how far. I mean, it was so loud, but it was kind of fun,
The one we used, you used the thing like in science class. You scraped it together to get the flint.
Oh, the little, for the Bunsen burners.
Yes.
Oh.
Don't you
What was
remember that
the
little
strike?
thing?
Yes,
I called it
yes.
the strike stick. It was
Yeah.
something.
I don't know what it was called, and we used
Great, I'm
that to
gonna
get
have to
the thing,
Google
and
that
then it
later.
just.
It looked kind of like tongs.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yep.
We're on the same page. We all know. We're all old enough to know. Go, yeah.
We'll call them fire tongs from here on out.
I like it.
Remember when we used to use fire
Fire
tongs?
The kids are gonna be like, fire tongs.
That's what I'm going to take on Naked and Afraid with me.
Are you going to go on that? No. Would you, if you had the chance for the money, would you go on Naked and Afraid?
No.
I've never watched it.
No.
They are naked though.
Well, I mean, yeah. But
Yeah,
I
the
think
reason
that it's
to be
only
afraid.
just for filming.
Oh,
I don't think it's real at all.
I mean, if you're wearing clothes when you're sleeping, who gives a shit? If you're naked on tape, that's the problem, So just saying.
They bleep it out.
Yeah. What is Naked and Afraid exactly? I never watched it.
They have to go and survive like 28 days or something in the wild. I don't know how many days it is, but
Naked.
Yeah.
naked. Like they have
With
like
nothing.
Alaska or and the bugs and yeah, they have nothing. You get to pick something, so you can pick what you want to take. Most people pick a fire starter.
Really?
Yeah.
You just
Fire
take
start-
one thing.
Yeah,
Fire starting is actually very, very difficult.
yeah, especially with the high humidity or the rain at the rainforest. So yeah, and then the water's gross and you can't boil it. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. I'll have to watch Naked and Afraid now.
it's one of my favorite shows.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love it.
don't
I
watch
can't watch it because I think it's so stupid.
It is stupid, but that's why I like it.
I don't know.
Mindless TV.
But they are naked.
Yeah,
Yes, they are.
they never pick really ugly people either.
Well, hell no, they
don't.
wouldn't,
Because they're ugly. If they're ugly and they're all exposed, I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Gary, if someone looks like me and built like me is on Naked and Afraid, I mean,
They
come on,
would be afraid.
Yeah, I'm naked. All you were afraid. That's the deal. You know what I mean? Like, holy cow. It's pointing at me again. Get out of here, All right, that was Touching the Clouds. What do you think about that one?
That was a good one.
That's a good story.
You learned a lot for free.
Yes. My mom taught me early on to ask.
You don't ask, you
If
don't
you
get.
don't, if you don't ask, you don't get nothing.
I like it.
And to barter. The two greatest lessons I learned from my mother was to
Really?
ask and to barter. My mom was Korean.
She was
So-
what?
Korean.
Really?
So I learned how to barter, and I learned to ask and wait for you to say no, and then learn how to barter with you who said no.
Are you adopted?
No.
Okay.
Long story short, mixed family.
Okay. I would never have seen the Korean in you at all.
Same.
Yes. Some people get lucky
Yeah.
and not.
It's not getting lucky.
not.
It'd be okay if
It's
you could see
No, it was
it.
it was a joke. Some people some people will argue back and forth. Well, did you get? I had a friend that her dad was African American.
Yeah.
So she looked like him. Her sister looked like her mom, who was full-blooded Japanese.
Right.
And she was like, that's my sister. And she would get in school and they would get into fights. Because she'd be like, that's my sister. No, that's not your sister. And she would get into a fight on whether or not that was her sister and her brother.
Really? I'm part Japanese. You can't tell. See, like my baby picture, you can tell. I look like a little Japanese baby, but yeah, you can't.
You can't tell.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swiccanese.
You're Swiccanese.
Swedish, Hispanic, and Japanese. Yeah, my mom
I
coined
was
that.
like, what was this? I was trying to catch the first two. I was like,
Swiccanese. Yep.
I like
Just
that.
rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Swiccanese.
That's why I wear that shirt that says Swiccanese Pride with a moose on it. People, and I like it because I tell people I'm Swiccanese, and some people give me to look like you did. Like, what is that?
What's a Swiccanese?
Some people do like, oh yeah. Yeah, because you met another one. Bullshit. You know.
Please let me know when you do.
Yeah. Might be my brother. All right, we got 2 down. No horsing around and touching the clouds. Last story.
Learning the ropes.
This is leaving the ropes.
See, it looks like a V.
I can't write very well, obviously. I was a driver for too many years. My handwriting was atrocious before. Now it's horrible.
And you write permits?
Yes. That's what the computer's for.
That's why we use her, so now no one can actually read what's happening. So it's kind of a break to the people, you know, like...
If you didn't understand it, you just couldn't read my handwriting. It's all good.
You're building a dick. That's deck. That's really a deck. Thank you very much. That's why there's a front deck and a back deck. As opposed to, there's no such thing as a back dick. That's why we let Susan write it, so we don't have little jokes. All right. Learning the ropes.
And you're going to laugh really hard because you made a beautiful segue and you didn't realize it.
All right.
My, like I told you, my older brother gave me a plane. My older sister loved to go camping and backpacking. She had a rule, pack it in, pack it out. And guess what you got to bring with you?
Is it dick?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying.
That's what I was thinking.
Get to the dick part, Susan, please.
You take your backpack, and if
Okay.
you've ever had to roll your sleeping bag up and fit it on the backpack, whatever fit in your backpack was all what you got to take with you, and you got to carry it with you.
Right.
All your trash you carried in, you carried it out, everything. So I was about, and we're going back in time because we were reminiscing. These stories came because we were reminiscing over the weekend. I was about 12 years old, carrying a backpack. And I think I always thought it was funny because the backpack was bigger than me. Hit the back of my calf, my calves, ding dong, hamstrings.
Okay.
It was a big backpack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was a little person.
How many hands tall was the backpack?
One.
Okay. I got new knowledge. I'm going to use as much as possible, you know?
You're like, how many hands was that? And you're going to ask that to the wrong person. They're going to go, I'm not a handsy person, I promise.
Yeah. When the cow pulls me over, I'll be like, yes, I'm 17 hands tall. being funny, buddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. But she took me on my first backpacking trip.
Right.
So we went out back. We went up a nice waterfall, made a nice climb. It was a great day. And I'm thinking we're going to someplace level, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, where I was born and raised, I'm born and raised from the desert. If y'all don't know, I grew up in a desert. If y'all know what prickly pear cactus, Spanish daggers are, rattlesnakes, and the like, yeah. There's a reason I don't want to go on naked and afraid. I had everything with me.
Right.
Except, and the good thing about being a military brat, military grade sleeping bags. But they didn't tell me they were heavy.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine.
So, of course, I had gouges down both my shoulders by the time we stopped, and I'm dead, and I pass out. Greatest food you've ever had? Not. My sister was okay, but she wasn't the greatest cook either.
MREs, man, or
What you catch, she also did teach me to track. So, yes, did I have rabbit and whatever she could find?
Sure.
Yes,
All
that
right.
was dinner. She did not catch a rattler. Otherwise, I think she would have served me rattler. Knowing my big sister, she would have served me rattler.
What's your sister's name?
Mary.
What's up, Mary? Okay. Good. Always give them shouts out. Yeah.
The biggest funny part was we're all I'm passed out asleep. I brought my pup with me, and he was curled up in the sleeping bag. So I was like, well, at least I know there's no rattler in my sleeping bag because my
Right.
dog's down at my toes. I don't know what time. It was late in the middle of the night. I hear him barking. But when you're not really awake yet and you're really like a kid,
Right.
you take your moment to recognize
What's going on.
where you're at, what's going on.
You're like in the twilight.
And
yeah.
he's like really far away from me. And I keep hearing a howling and a barking, and a howling and a barking. And I'm going, is he coming back? Is my skipper, my dog's name is Skipper from, if any of you have seen Gilligan's Island.
I was going to say Gilligan's Island.
Yes, I loved Gilligan's Island as a kid. So he was named Skipper.
All right.
And I waited and waited. I couldn't go back to sleep. He eventually, right at the crack of dawn, comes back. He's all in one piece. He isn't bitten. No snake bites, no nothing. And I'm like, I got my dog back.
Yeah.
And I survived a night with God only knows what he was chasing off. And my sister goes, I was probably one or two or three coyotes I saw earlier in the night.
What kind of dog is Skipper?
A mutt.
How
He
big?
was a little bit, maybe 2 hands high.
2 hands high. Yeah, she beat me to it. She beat me to it. Nice call, Susan.
He was the only thing best way to look at him is he was kind of like a poodle mutt mix.
Okay.
He had just about everything: the fuzzy fur, the big fuzzy ears.
Okay.
No, I did not give him the poodle shave.
Yeah, he's lucky if it was coyotes, they didn't lure him out and kill him.
Yes,
Because that's what they do. They
But
play.
poodles are mean.
I mean,
Yes,
but-
they are. That's why we joked. We joked it was the poodle in him that kept him alive, and he came back and he strolled back like it was nothing. We were like, and she was just like, "Oh, it's fine. This happens all the time."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're not 12 years old and half the size of a coyote."
Yeah. Because coyotes will kill you.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit. They'll kill that dog in a heartbeat, you know. I had a friend who had a farm that happened all the time, and he lost many dogs to coyotes. You know, they play and they play and they play, and when the dog wants to go out, then yeah, coyotes are not great. So,
Yeah, he was a crazy dog.
all right. So that's what do you think about that one?
I don't know.
Yeah, short and sweet.
It is short and sweet. I don't think that the poodle beat the coyote, but
All right. You got some doubt there in your mind.
I do. I have doubts.
I got you. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been much of a camper at all. And I was in Boy Scouts, so I camped back then. But now I don't.
That's why you were a Boy Scout. I was a Girl Scout counselor that had never been in Girl Scouts.
Really, I was in Boy Scouts. I was asked to leave, so it's you know,
I can't imagine why.
Well,
you're such a swell fella.
if you watch this podcast, I tell the story, and it's it's a little brutal, man. So just don't eat brownies when I give them to you. We'll just say that, okay?
If you live, you're good.
Yeah, well, you almost didn't live. So
He said, "Oh well."
there's a shitty way to dehydrate yourself. I'll leave it at that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now you got my curiosity. I haven't found that one yet. I'll dig for it.
All right. It's let's see. It's episode 25. It's actually Adam's episode. So
All right, Roger that.
Yeah.
How do you remember that?
Because that was Adam's episode. That was one of the funner episodes because it was him and Dency and I, and it was just us three just bullshitting, just 3 old friends. You know what I mean? So kind of fun. I have a lot of older friends that are gonna, when they swing into town, I'm gonna grab them and bring them on here. You know, and that's fun when someone. It's fun when someone new you met. Because you get to learn about people and learn about things. You know,
Yes.
we joke around the 5-10 hands thing, but it's fun. That's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
is
cool,
funny.
you know. But old friends, it gets to be like I remember this, remember that. But although I make fun of them, they also remember shit about me. And
Yeah.
that's the
That you
problem.
have forgotten.
Yeah. Do you remember? And apparently, a few times I've been drunk, I've been naked and afraid. You know what I mean? The front lawn. I didn't have.
Were you afraid though?
I wasn't afraid.
That might be the problem.
A little confused. I woke up and
Well, where am I?
you got to try and figure out what cornfield you're in, where your pants are. There's no cell phone back when I was in high school
No,
to find out where you're at. So it's you know.
We know
it's-
you know how to use a compass, right?
What compass? I mean, I left with a bottle of Boone's Farm. That's how I left. You know, I mean, that don't help for shit when you're naked and afraid.
No.
I'll just say that. Although Boone's Farm was pretty good back in the day.
It was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Where did you grow up at? What desert?
El Paso.
El Paso. That is
Paso
crazy.
del Norte.
Really? How big is that?
Now or then?
Then.
Probably a few million people.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Now
A lot.
tens of millions.
A lot of million.
A lot of million.
Multi-millions. Yeah.
Multi-million dollars? No, just kidding.
How did you end up in Colorado?
How did it happen? You're going to laugh when I tell you this. Long story. As we all know, we all have better lives. We all have worse lives.
All right.
I actually ran into Lee, and I had 3 opportunities to move to Colorado. Believe it or not. My first opportunity was when I told you I was at the camp. The writing director actually knew somebody up here who would have taught me dressage. So I had
Taught you what?
dressage.
What?
I call it horse dancing.
Okay, dressage.
Dressage. Yes.
Dress-
I didn't even
Dressage.
know that one.
Yes, I could have stayed up here and learned how to ride a horse. She was told me I had to make a choice whether I wanted to be a horse owner, horse trainer, or horse rider.
Okay.
So I didn't. Being the poor sucker that I was in school. I was like, I'll finish school and then I'll think, I'm young. I have plenty of time.
Sure.
Second opportunity, web designer. I had an option to move up here as a web designer.
Right.
My mom got hurt, so I moved out to East Texas to take care of my mom. And that's where I ended up running into Lee. I was getting a divorce from my ex-husband at the time and was told there's good job opportunities up here.
Okay.
And I had a few other friends that lived up this way that said, you should have taken that job when you got offered the job for the web design.
Right.
There's good economy. I was going to be a single parent with my 2 kids.
Right.
So I moved here to get better job opportunities. Where in the small town that I was at, which Wiggins is like 10 times smaller, but that's beside the point. Brush is like half the size that it was.
Wiggins is going to catch us pretty quick, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to catch us. But we're going to talk about your coming podcast you're going to start doing here in a little bit, but we're going to guess real quick. Is that cool, Carrie?
Yeah.
Are you ready? You got one in mind?
I do.
Okay. Now, Susan, when we decide who has to go first, I guess first we rock, paper, scissors.
Go for it. I love rock, paper, scissors.
How do you rock, paper, scissors?
For real or for cheat?
For real.
Rock, paper, scissors.
So you go boom, boom, and shoot. Mm-hmm. What do you do, Carrie?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
She's a 4-pumper. I'm a 3-pumper. That's what the sign is. I'm with you, Susan. It's boom, boom, doom. But 4-pumpers go rock, paper, scissors, and then they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It is. Everybody has their thing.
You know what? It's not very often I'm a fellow 3-pumper here, so you're going to get shit on a little bit, Carrie. That's what's going to happen. So,
It's okay. I'm used to it.
so we're doing 3-pumpers since there's 2 of us, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready? Damn it.
You still won.
She still won. Okay, so 3 great stories. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we do all this, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium once again. What we do now is we're going to watch a small video. The video is of a vendor upstairs to kind of see what they have here at the Brush Emporium, kind of what some of the products they carry. They have jewelry up there. They have art up there. They have some pasta. They have hot sauce. They have, just all kinds of things, toys for the kids.
They have
Dog
pet
things.
I was going to say they have pet stuff.
Yeah.
And boots.
Yep.
Yes.
Boots. The dog things are hard to get. That thing clears out quite often. It's pretty popular. I got to get her on the podcast to advertise her stuff. And they also have like engraving stuff you can do it and stuff that you can have customized. And they just have so many cool things. This is such a great idea to have. So please support them. And here's a little quick video.
Hi, I'm Megan Orcutt, and I'm the owner of Something Magical. We make things such as hand-stitched journals, hand-poured candles with essential oils and fresh herbs. We also have pendulums and other handcrafted items. You can find us here at the Brush Emporium, 210 Clayton Street, or on Facebook. Just search up Something Magical, and there's a link to our website.
Okay, so once again, please support these local vendors. Please support the Brush Emporium. And we're going to start guessing. I lost rock, paper, scissors. I've not been great this year. I'm going to get my ass kicked. And we have 3 great stories. Learning the ropes, no horsing around, and touching the clouds. Now, I think no horsing around is a true story. You had some love behind that. Usually, how you tell the story is how I kind of judge it. Learning the ropes, I also think is a true story. I think that's it was short and sweet, and usually I would bite on the shorter story without a lot of detail on it. But I'm going to go with touching the clouds. If that is a true story, I'd be very impressed. That's a very cool story to have. But you said it was kind of a mixed bag of why it was not true. So I'm going to go with touching the clouds as my Bullhucker. What do you think, Carrie?
Mine is learning the ropes.
Really? How so?
The dog.
Not coming back from the coyotes?
If the dog was in the bottom of your bag or your sleeping bag and then out and barking and then came back and no bites or anything, I feel like your dog probably would have got a little tangled.
Right. Well, maybe so. And I had the least amount of detail, which usually I'll always bite on. I'll always bite on the one. But for some reason, just touching the clouds is sticking out to me. I don't know why. So I'm doing touching the clouds. You're doing learning the ropes. Let's see the board there, Miss Susan. Touching the What's not true about it?
What's not true is I didn't get to fly.
Okay.
I got to do everything else. I got to do the ground school, everything except for I did not get to fly because I actually had to pay for the jet fuel.
Oh.
Which was $200, which is the part that I left out. You had to actually pay for it. You couldn't volunteer. That was the false part. You couldn't volunteer for it. You had to pay for the jet fuel.
Right.
Because it was a non-profit.
Oh. I kind of figured they'd be hard-pressed to let just anybody get in those planes, too.
They would have. If I would have paid for the jet fuel,
they'd let you.
I would have been able to learn how to find a P-40 or a Corsair at my choice.
That's nuts. I went a trip when I worked for Budweiser to the Richard Petty driving school for NASCAR.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You're going to hate this part. When I got it, it was a Busch contest I'd won. So I got like $500 in gift cards for like gas. That's back when gas first started going crazy. The trip to Vegas is where I got to do it. And they go, Richard Petty driving school. And I go, that's awesome. who the hell's Richard Petty? I had no idea. Every redneck in that room was like, why the hell does Larry get a go? He was all pissed because I'm like, because I sold the most, you dicks. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. I'm glad I got to do it. I'm glad I got to experience. I'm not a NASCAR fan, but that was awesome, man. It was a rush.
Awesome.
But the reason I brought that story up is, Susan, when I did it, I signed every waiver possible, right? I signed everything away. If lightning would have struck me out in the parking lot, that's on me. You know what I mean? It would not, if one of their workers would have went out and shot me, then I had it coming. You know, I signed away my rights to have any kind of legal recourse against them. So it was wild, but I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
I was 20-something years old then.
When you're young, you'll do just about anything.
Yeah, I'll survive anything, you know. I survived the 40 shots of tequila from the night before, so, you know.
Only 40?
Yeah, well, I woke up naked and afraid on those strips, so that's, you know.
That was the 40th one, gotcha.
Yeah. Had 15 hands on me, too. See, this is all rolls back around. So, yeah, that was kind of crazy. So, Carrie, you're 0-1, man.
I know.
We're going to bring you back on so you can try and redeem yourself, dude.
I'll do better next time.
Nah, it's all good. I appreciate you being here this time. Susan, you said you want to start a podcast.
Yes, I do. You're going to believe it or not, you, Carrie, might actually like it. I was actually going to ask you if you want to be on it at some time, but it'll be by the end of the summer. It's tips for small businesses.
Nice.
Some, especially when we have the smaller areas like this where people can't get out or they can't go out drive all the way to Denver. Because I was like talking with Olga from
Slippingus.
And she was talking about going to stuff in Denver and Fort Morgan. But what if it was an online podcast and you could say one thing that you learned that helped you with your business? You could pass it on to others.
That's cool.
I like that. It's good.
Where does your passion for that come out?
I love small businesses, honestly.
Yeah.
When I was a web designer before, and when I was young, I was 19, 20, back when the web was new.
Because she's older than me. I just want to point that out. So I kind of remember that, but, you know.
Yeah,
not
that whole transition kind of thing. I used to code in HTML.
Okay.
You had to. You were a coder if you did website. 90% of them.
Right.
You coded it. I designed my own graphics.
Oh, dang.
Adobe has been around that long.
Right.
Also, 1987. I looked at it when it was showing the little copyright thing.
Right.
Now, I am old.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And I started doing, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to work for a big company? I did it because I was, I'm trying to think about it, work study for my college.
Oh, okay.
And I was working in a lab.
Cool.
And the guy that was doing the website was leaving. So he's like, here, I'm going to teach you what I do. Okay. This is then my 19-year-old. Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Just show me what I need to do. He's like, when you do graphics, you go like this and do this, and when you code, you do this. Oh, it's like writing a paper. Okay, it's all syntax based. Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
Found out I could make money doing that, and I realized small businesses were the ones that were completely left out. Only the big especially then. If you think it's bad now, only the big corporate companies
Right.
had it. So I started knocking on doors. I was a lot braver back then. That's one of the reasons I like your podcast. I want to tell you thank you, by the way.
What's that?
Thank you, by the way, because I
Oh,
lost that
of course.
courage when I was young, knocking on the doors
Yeah, yeah.
and saying, hey, this is what I can do for you.
Yeah.
I had somebody give me my start. I was a real estate company. I designed all their pages, and if you've ever worked with a realtor and all the stuff that they do, yeah, that was fun.
That's crazy.
But I did several things like that, and that's how I kind of got started. And that's where my passion for small businesses came.
Right.
I was a small business owner, and marketing is one of the hardest things any small business can do. And you see these big companies with these big, huge marketing departments, and
Right.
this guy, and I've got this powerhouse who knows how to do this, and I've got this expert over here,
Right.
and you feel like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But you have a great small business, a great idea, all the innovators. If we lose small business,
Right.
we lose all our innovation, and they are the backbone of America.
Well, that's what we say in this podcast every time. If you don't support it, it goes away.
Yes.
Right. But to be a little devil's advocate, what you just said. So the power has changed, in my opinion, a little bit. As to where all the advertising stuff now goes through a lot of podcasts, a lot of online kids on TikTok now. I mean,
yeah.
they've had to change. I mean, so smaller people have taken over. It's just the internet's changed everything. It's just changed everything.
Yes, it did.
Now, I mean, do you think CBS has the? I mean, yeah, they got a lot of money, but I mean, who do people advertise with now? Probably Joe Rogan. Probably some kid on TikTok who,
Nobody else knows. So nobody our age knows who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, but they hit millions of hits every day. It's just they're kicking ass, dude. So small businesses have a good shot. Now, they got to have that passion. They got to have that drive, though. You know what I mean? You can't just say we're small business, support us. And a lot of them do. A lot of them are very good about it. Like the Emporium here, they go out of their way to try and, they let you know they're here. You know what I mean? So that's part of the reason this podcast studio exists here is to help advertise for them. You know what I mean? And it's been a great deal for me. So I can't thank them enough. But that's cool. I commend you for supporting the small business thing. And it is fun to talk to people about their, like you said, their little tricks of the trade. What was the hardest thing to learn? What was I've asked that of a few people on this podcast, is what was the hardest lesson? And a lot of them just, Freddie was just on, his came out this week, and his was, you just have to learn to accept your losses. When they come, you can't
dwell on them.
You can't dwell on them, man. You just got to keep moving. You got to be like a shark, always moving, right? So, I don't know. Do you have one, Carrie? Do you have a
Not offhand.
not the lesson you had to learn the hard way?
No, but I do agree with Freddie, because when I was younger, when I got into hair and stuff, if I messed up something, I wouldn't sleep. Like, it ate at me. And then I just learned that if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have learned the right way.
Right.
And so it just made me just do better. And
Right.
So.
That's awesome. That's all. At the end of the summer, you're planning on doing that?
Yep.
That's cool. Well, if you need any help, please let me know.
And we'll do, buddy.
And we can put it on the website or whatever, thebullhucker.com. And by the way, if you have enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that. It's a small click for you, but it's a big click for us. We support. Love the support. No matter what you're listening to it on, whether it be iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever, leave a rating and review. Follow us on all that stuff. And if you've enjoyed this, if you enjoyed Susan's stories, please share the podcast. We enjoy that and we appreciate it, and it's a lot of love. So please support the podcast. We love you. I love you. So there's that. Susan, anything else before we go?
No. I
No.
don't have anything else.
I'm gonna end this on kind of a bummer. This is the first podcast since this happened. We lost two great people in this community this week. So Godspeed to Missy and Chad White. That's unfortunate what happened, but kind of a shout out to them. And then, like I said, Godspeed, and they're up in heaven driving a motorcycle right now. You know what I mean? Kind of
Listening to your podcast.
listen to the podcast. Like give us a shout out, you fat bastard. But yeah, it's kind of it was a devastating blow for this county or this community. So we wish the family all the love and all the support, and hopefully, if you would like to help, you can get online. There's a GoFundMe right now for their services. You can find that online, or if you go on GoFundMe, it's Chad and Missy White. I think it's Missy, not Melissa. They have it down as. So feel free to support that. I need to get on there and throw a few bucks at it. So absolutely, and I think they've almost already hit their goals. So, but you can go over that. There's always stuff that comes up and that stuff. Yep. So anyway. After the bummer, Susan, thank you so much for putting on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Carrie Ankrum, thank you for running Shotgun Sister.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I haven't seen you very often, so maybe next time I'll bring Kurt on.
You gotta bring the tortillas back.
The tortillas.
The tortillas, man.
The tortillas.
Because remember when Matt didn't record the...
Oh, I forgot. Remember the tortilla challenge? Where you slapped each other? I could have kicked Matt Gordon's ass for that.
It was a good one.
It was a good. I walked into her hair salon, her barber shop, and I threw down the challenge. Like, what's up, Carrie? And we went to the mat. Did you win or did I win?
I think you won.
We slapped the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a haircut and everything. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I need to win this battle. Hold on a
She's got all
second.
this tin shit in her hair. And she just walks to the hairdresser, slaps a fat Mexican that walked in the damn door, And and Matt's sitting there and he's laughing. He's like, oh, it wasn't recording. I was like, oh my God, dude. Mr. Tech himself. It's the little red button. And he'll be counting little red numbers, They're millennial, you dumb bastard. Love you, Matt. So anyway, Susan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Carrie.
It was a blast hanging out with you guys.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you too. And best of luck with the podcast. So I can help, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you, buddy.
Carrie, thank you again.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank you.
Bruce Lundstrom. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Peace.